What's up, everyone? This is Ollie Jungleus, and tonight on tonight's show we have Gabba D&B from Fresno, California. We traveled out there and visited him and checked out his event called Collab, amazing community building event with local DJs, local sound system, and artists. We sat down for about 20 minutes to learn about his beginnings and what's going on with the scene in Fresno now and what he has in the future. Thanks for stopping by. Much love. Cool. So let's just start off with your name and where we're at today.
So I go by Gabba, and we're in Fresno, California.
Cool. Early influences. What got you into kind of this underground drum and bass and music scene?
For myself, that's always been an interesting question because my upbringing was in the '80s, and in the '80s, as I came up as a youth, um, turntablism and breakdance culture was just everywhere. You know, it was on the TV, it was in the streets. My elementary school days were just surrounded with cardboard b-boy circles on the streets in San Jose. So I grew up in San Jose, so there was a lot of that kind of culture surrounding me. High energy was blasting on the radios, breakbeat music, in general was everywhere. Graffiti, b-boy culture. I was influenced by that a lot. So I grew up just enjoying that kind of fire, that kind of energy, turntablism and music, and the way that influenced people to dance and do that. So that was a big part of my uh, influence musically, and eventually that led to where I'm at now.
Nice. What was kind of your start of your DJ career and how did that kick off?
Um, so after enjoying a lot of dance music worldwide, I got to travel a bit, like Europe. Um, I was in Germany and got to travel around Europe a bit, like Spain, Amsterdam, France, Italy, different places. I was already in love with the dance music culture, and I found myself constantly train spotting. You know, watching the DJs and like really being interested in what they were doing, all the you know fine fine tweaking they were doing on the mixers and whatnot. Just really train spotting and interested in the DJing side, the technical side, and I knew it was something I wanted to do. So it took me a while to start to collect records, and I started off with one turntable and a bunch of records, and I knew I was like, I'm gonna DJ eventually. So I started off with one turntable, and slowly made my way into DJing, teaching myself, and that's how my journey started as a DJ.
Nice. What was it like kind of transitioning when you figured out from being a DJ to starting to want to promote parties and kind of being the whole scene in some sorts?
Yeah, that was interesting. Myself being a observant person and always wanted to help and get involved, I found myself being at parties, helping people run their parties, helping people promote. Like in general, when I see people doing something, I want to put the word out there, whether it's bands or up and comers. So that's always been at the core of my interest, like trying to spotlight what people are doing. The do-it-yourself culture is something that like I'm always trying to amplify, whether it's bands, independent artists, DJs, or any of that stuff. So that's kind of how I started locally, helping people, putting the word out there. And as I started to DJ, I found space where I could help get things going, and then that really turned into me um, connecting with people and people looking at me like, what are we doing now? What are we doing now? And so it was kind of like an evolution of me helping so much that I started to get things flowing and uh, fell into a space where I was coordinating more and more, and naturally that turned into me putting on events and getting more involved.
Nice. Were your first events here in Fresno, or what was your first events like?
They were, and that a lot of people don't know this, but my first events in Fresno, because of my record collection and the networks that I first got involved with here, was the indie electro and punk scenes here in Fresno. I had a lot of indie electro kind of dance vibes, and I would play in between bands. So I started off DJing with one turntable and a bunch of records, and I would play in between bands like Chinatown Youth Center, downtown Fresno, those open mics, little gigs here and there, and then maybe house parties here and there, and those were my first DJing gigs, even though I was just rocking one turntable and not into the mixing yet. But those were my beginnings, and then eventually I got another turntable and started to get into the drum and bass side of things locally with the Bass Fiends crew. So those were part of my beginnings. Big up Bass Fiends crew, Fresno.
Nice. What are some of the challenges of, Fresno's probably not like as big as other cities. Are there challenging things about promoting such a niche genre in a town like this?
Absolutely, yes. So I was able to enjoy the international appreciation for drum and bass in my travels around and whatnot. So when I came to Fresno, I saw that there was kind of a gap in that. The appreciation for drum and bass wasn't here much. There has been a representation here for sure, jungle and drum and bass and bass music in general. Like I said, Bass Fiends Crew is one of my connections that I connected with here in Fresno. Bass Fiends Crew was doing things since the 90s here. They were like a dubstep, they are a dubstep, drum and bass centered crew here in Fresno. And so I linked up with them, but still, like, they were swimming against the current to get drum and bass out there and appreciated. Um, so it is predominantly this town, is predominantly geared towards house and tech house and other um, EDM genres, and so putting on drum and bass takes a lot of effort to build momentum. Um, and I've just always loved drum and bass and jungle, so I've been dedicated to try to put the energy there uh, and bring my own twist to it in a way.
Cool. The event last night, Collab, what is the history behind that and how did that all start?
So just recently, COVID shut down in the last few years. When things started back up, I took a break from doing events, but Collab was a way for me to get back to things and collaborate with people. We got a sound system crew, Crush Sound, and other friends that are involved in visuals, lighting, and just in general being down for the cause. And so Collab has been that more focused on actively participating people that are helping keep that fire going. So that's what Collab has been. It's been a recent thing, and we've got some nice momentum going, and it might be the beginning of a more of a regular thing.
Nice. Speaking of the sound system and sound system culture, is there any like crews out here that's kind of doing that, or how's the scene around the sound itself?
That's a good question. As far as like established sound systems that are like known to push their thing, I wouldn't say there's a whole lot. One of my buddies, Rick Wired, is a DJ and producer. He was putting out his sound system regularly with events. Um, he might be taking a break right now, but really, like some people have some decent sound systems, but they're not pushing it in a way that like spotlights the sound system. And I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of bring that into focus and part of the repertoire of our events. So Crush Sound System is part of that, and also I'm looking to build that in the backgrounds for myself as we keep the gears turning. So that might be a thing that I get to develop as well.
Nice. I just wanted to quickly talk about the event last night. Kind of your thought process on picking the lineup and the flow of the whole night and how it went for you.
Yes. So I was pretty excited, first of all, to have you, Ollie, join us here in Fresno. Last night's event was Botany Boy, myself, and you. Botany Boy has been uh, an up and comer that I've met within the last couple of few years or so, and I really dig um, his track selection, his dedication. He really digs into it, into his curation and vibes, and beyond that, he brings a great vibe with him, a dedication that's clear, and to me, like that speaks volumes, and that's the kind of thing that I want to work with. So that seemed like a natural selection. I was stoked to have him on board, and then myself to keep the. I went with like some kind of deep liquid and roller and jungle vibes before we passed the torch to you. And great set, by the way. Um, so the idea there was to have him warm it up for us, me keep it rocking, and then pass the torch to you. And that's what we did last night, which was collab um, our Solstice edition, because Solstice is in a couple of nights. I think in 2 nights from now. Um, so it happened to land on a weekend where it was between my birthday and solstice. I aimed for solstice, but the days didn't align, and so we landed right in between. So we rocked with that. So this was like a kind of a celebration and not a tip of the hat to our solar return, our solstice. Shifting from the dark to the light, and something along those lines.
Nice. I did notice there were some dancers involved. Did you want to kind of chat about that and like who they are and what they do?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the dancers that we highlighted and promoted is Serpent Sundancer, is her performer name. She's a super talented dancer, poi, fire performer, um, and in general, uh, she's been involved in our events for a handful of years. Her and Uriel are part of Astral Folk, and they've been on board helping us do our drum and bass things, and we've been involved collaborating in events with what they do as Astral Folk and what we do in the drum and bass side of things. So, Serpent Sun Dancer was one of the performers that joined us last night. Um, and yeah, it's great to work with them and have them bring their energy to what we do. It's always a pleasure to work with them.
Cool. So we're gonna wind it down a little bit, but is there anything that sticks out if someone's gonna come visit Fresno? What's the thing to do? Where to go? What's Fresno known for?
That's a good question. That's sometimes a tough question. It's great to connect with people in Fresno. Try to get a feel for who's got their finger on the pulse in the underground, what's going on. If you just come here and try to check out what's popular, it's going to be a totally different experience than if you connect with somebody that knows what's going on, in the music culture and events, throughout the art and music community. So tap in with somebody that knows their way around, and that will be the best experience rather than just coming in blind and hitting the top 10 clubs and whatnot. So yes, tap into the subculture always.
Got it. Is there anyone in the local Fresno scene that you kind of want to shout out or big up right now?
um, well, everybody that's been doing their thing, I haven't been able to consistently be out there to all the dance music things, always. I have a busy life, but big shout out to the people that are doing things in the techno, tech house music scene, and I will say in the EDM scene overall too. You know, they all play a part in keeping the flame lit, and that does cross over into the drum and bass thing, even though it is its own niche. So yeah, there's a lot of people that are consistently keeping the music culture going, and big shout out to everybody that's doing that and coming from the creative and crafty side of things with heart.
Very good. Do you have any upcoming events that are happening you want to promote?
Well, this Monday, I will be partaking in a fashion mixer. It's an avant-garde fashion mixer at the same venue that we just played at Veni Vidi Vici. Um, that's a local venue that's worth checking out. Um, I recently connected with uh, some designers and fashion related people that are putting on this event Monday. It's coming with a lot of heart and craft, and intention. And so I'm super stoked to have fallen into place with them and partake in that. Um, what they bring designer wise, is much more than just aesthetics and glam. Like it's a really unique thing that I'm growing appreciation for because it hasn't been my thing before. So yeah, avant-garde solstice uh, show this Monday at Benavide Beach. That'll
Cool.
be an interesting one.
So if people want to find out about you or your event, where can they find out more information?
Currently, my Instagram is where I'm most active. Until I establish a dedicated page, that's where I'll be keeping things updated for now.
Okay, and what's the handle for that?
Gabba underscore DNB as in drum and bass.
Perfect. Well, thanks for sitting down and chatting today. I had an amazing time in Fresno, and hopefully I'll be back soon.
Thank you so much for coming, and great set, and I'm glad that we were able to host you here and look forward to doing it again.
Cool. Thank you.